Whoa. Well, to be honest, I'm not surprised. It's 4-10. 4-10 after 14 games played. Um, well, we lost to a better team. We got two turnovers in the red zone, and we played decent, fairly well, I think. Defense played, I think, a solid 25 minutes of solid defense without doing anything wrong. They covered up properly. But the Bengals are the better team. They had the better record. They're a good team, and I think they'll do well in the playoffs. Um, but 34-13 on your home turf is not something you want to go home and write about. Um, but basically, what I saw, I watched J9, and he said that the Bengals went for fourth and goal when they're up by 21 with 2 minutes left. Now that's just disrespectful, but that's just showing how embarrassing this Eagles defense has been. They haven't been covering up properly, and they've been leaving men wide open all season long, which is a shame. Most people think that Andy's going to be fired at the end of the season. I couldn't agree more. 4-10 records not really anything that we Eagles fans are proud of. I stayed up. If you don't know, I'm 6 hours ahead of y'all. I live on the East Coast. I'm in Europe, Gothenburg, Sweden, where football isn't a big thing, so they don't really have too much hype about it. They only show the Super Bowl, and that's like they don't even show like the Super Bowl ads, so I have to like watch it on Game Pass. But last night they showed it on like one of the main sport channels at 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. So I was up quite a bit, so I'm really tired now, and I got to get to school soon. So I'm just doing this quickly before I leave. Playing Redskins in next Sunday, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. If you don't know, um, I'm really not looking forward to that game. We're gonna get creamed. RG3, I don't know if he's playing or not, but I don't know if he's gonna play this week. But he's a good player. He's like the new he's the new like Michael Vick minus 10 years ago. Explosive, fast, and reads plays well. Michael Vick, he's been I don't know, it must have been his imprisonment. He's not the same. He like I don't know, I don't want to give him excuses, but he most people think that he could have done a lot better. Like if he would have stayed out of prison. I agree. But I discussed with some people that they're saying that the O line they developed over the season to protect Foles better than they did Vic. I think Foles only got sacked a couple of times last quarter or something, or towards the end. I think that if that's the purpose, so they purposely sack Vic so they could get Foles in, that's just bad. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it were true. But I don't think we should draft a quarterback. I'm impressed with Foles. He's done well this year. From what I've seen. Vic, I don't know if he's going to be backup or starting next year. He's still out. And he's just standing on the sideline thinking, what the hell? Play me, put me in. If I were Andy Reid, I would have put him in if he's healthy. But he wasn't. Brown played well. He just needs to return the ball and not fumble it. He did that a couple of times, I think, over the last couple of weeks. But he needs to stop doing that. But apart from that, what else can I say? Yeah, last week the defense played very well. They're the reason why we won the game. Pretty much because we didn't score until the second quarter. Today it was the turnovers that killed us. They led to 6 points. That returned for 6 points. That were 6 points. So two fumbles led to two field goals. But since, as I said, I'm not dissing the Cincinnati Bengals or we said, oh, we played really badly, and I'm blaming it all on the Eagles. But Cincinnati have a really good offense, and they're the better team. Um, so I can't say much about that, but yeah, I might make a new video for my predictions this week or something. I don't know. I could make it now looking at the time, but no. Um, Alright, now I'll do it. My computer clock is a bit fast. Um, what I'm looking forward to this weekend, since the Eagles already played, I always have a secondary team that I go for. Now it's not the Giants usually, since my family's from Jersey and New York and Philly. I tend to have Philly, the Jets. I know they suck, but they're just my secondary team. It's like I can go for the Giants sometimes. It's like whenever they play in the Super Bowl, I go for them as a New York team or New Jersey team. But when they're playing each other, I always go for Eagles because I don't like the Giants when they play against Eagles. It's a good game. It's always a good game. Um, but yeah. All right. So Giants at Atlanta. Atlanta win by 3, I think. They came off that loss, tough loss. They just got owned, in my opinion. And the Giants played well against the team they played against, the Saints. They just crashed the Saints. That was ridiculous. I did not think it was going to be that much of a blowout. Green Bay at Chicago. Green Bay came off that win against the Lions. 7-point win over the Lions. They beat the Lions at least. Eagles didn't. Chicago at 8-5. Both are playing for a playoff spot with the Minnesota Vikings in there. They're catching up. But I gotta say, since it's in Chicago, I gotta say the Bears by 3. If their O-line holds and Cutler plays well. Washington at Cleveland. Cleveland 5-8. Washington 7-6. Gee, I don't know. If RG3, what am I saying? Washington, of course. They got good players. Got Santana Moss. They got RG3, and they got their really good secondary quarterback. I can't think of him. He's good. Minnesota at St. Louis. Minnesota 7-6. St. Louis 6-1. St. Louis are unpredictable this year. They tied to the 49ers and they beat the 49ers, and then they beat a couple of good teams this year. So I don't know. I think St. Louis, if they play well, by 3. Jacksonville 2-11, Miami 5-8 in Miami. Miami have been playing well. Jacksonville, I think they're playing their second game or something with Babin. I think Babin played well. I didn't check their game. Oh, I got something in my eye. But I think Jacksonville. No, what am I saying? Miami by 7. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Tampa Bay came off that tough loss against Eagles. I think they should have won it. They're a good team too. Just they can't finish games. And New Orleans 5-8. If Tampa Bay want to get into the playoffs, this is the game to do it. They're going to be playing games like New Orleans type teams in the playoffs, so they got to beat the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans having a tough year. But it's insane. It's in Louisiana, so I think they're going to take it. New Orleans, that is, by 7. Denver at Dallas. No, Denver at Baltimore, sorry. Denver 10-3, they already clinched their playoff spot. Baltimore 9-4. This is probably a future division like championship matchup, or AFC championship game, rather. Denver playing at Baltimore. I think Manning's got his groove going. Baltimore's struggling now, but I think Denver by 3. Indianapolis, sorry, 9-4, playing against Houston, 11-2 in Houston. Houston came off that cream loss to the Patriots. I don't know what went wrong that game. I watched it. It was just, wow. Everything went wrong. But I think Houston by 7. Luck is not probably going to do it well. Luck's probably going to play well, but he's not going to finish well. Seattle at Buffalo. Seattle 8-5, Buffalo 5-8. I think Buffalo are out of playoff contention. I'm pretty sure, because they only got 5 wins at this point. And Seattle looking for wild card spot or even division championship. And I think Seattle by 7. Because Wilson's good this year. Detroit at Arizona. Detroit came off that tough loss against the Green Bay Packers. I think they led 14-0 at the start, and then they're like the Buccaneers. They can't finish games. And Arizona, they're having like a 5-game losing streak or something. Even more than that, probably. They're playing as badly as the Eagles, pretty much. Um, but they're tough here. They have good players. They're like the Eagles. They have good players, but they can't produce something. They got a former Eagle, Kevin Cobb. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. They got Fitzgerald. They need to just get to connect the ball to Fitzgerald, and then they'll be fine. Sunday night football game. It's Carolina at San Diego. Carolina 4-9, San Diego 5-8. I think both are out of playoff contention, but I think since it's in San Diego, I think they'll win by 3. Cam Newton will probably play well, but they won't do it. And then Philip Rivers will play well, but he'll be the most dominant one. Pittsburgh at Dallas. Both are looking for playoff spots. Important game. Dallas are playing. Well, they're playing in Dallas. Dallas and Pitt both have 7-6 records, as I said. But I think Pittsburgh, they got Roethlisberger, and then they've got a lot of good players. They got all their wide receivers. They got the better coaching staff. So I think they'll win by 3. Kansas City at Oakland. Kansas City 2-11, Oakland 3-10. They're both in the same division, and they're both doing not very well. Many people, Kansas City have had a little tragedy a couple of weeks ago. I mentioned that, but since then I think they've gotten a couple of wins. So if they keep up that momentum, they'll probably do well. They'll win, and then they'll win their games, and then they can just get out of the season and just think, thank God it's over. Get new draft picks as first pick, and yeah, first round and stuff like that. So they need to, so they'll do well. So I think they'll do well in the draft picks. Oakland likewise, they'll probably get second or third pick. So yeah, it's good for them. Eagles I think will be like fourth or something or third. I don't think they need a QB. They need like secondaries. San Francisco at New England Monday night football game. No wait, Sunday night game. Sorry. San Francisco 9-3-1, New England 10-3. Tampa Bay. That seems legit. New England 10-3. San Francisco 9-3-1, as I said, at Foxborough. I think New England, they played very well last week, and if they keep up that momentum, they'll win by 7+. Last game, Monday night football game, New York Jets at Tennessee. New York Jets 6-7, Tennessee 4-9. Tennessee are struggling this year. Jets are playing fairly well. No, they're doing really badly. I really thought since they brought in Tebow they'd have him as a quarterback. I think he hasn't even played one snap as QB this season, unless it was in the preseason. I think that's bad. Sanchez is doing alright, and their backup's doing alright, but I think they need to give Tebow a shot. He's been playing running back the whole season. And the way he's played, I don't know if he's fine with it, but he's brought in as a quarterback. So I don't know what's wrong with that. I don't know if I'd love to have him. Like, I'm not like a Tebow maniac fan, but I like him as a player. He's a silent achiever. I like that. He's like silent. He does things silent. He's a silent achiever. Doesn't brag about it really. But yeah, I think the Jets by 3. All right. Well, those are my picks. I'm really not looking forward to the Redskins-Eagles game. Then after that, we have the last game of the season against the Giants. I think that's that and the Baltimore game. Those are our best victories of the season. They're like half of our victories. Those were good. We beat the Cleveland Browns, and then we beat Tampa Bay. Are the 2 wins. See, I can even remember our wins. That's scary because we've won 4. But yeah, those are like that's the highlight of the year pretty much for me, beating the Giants and the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think we can beat I don't think we will win any more of our games this season. Can't speak. But I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and I'll leave the link for J9 and EDP445. They're really good channels. Check them out. J9's got some really sick tunes, so check that out. See you guys later.